Yep, 100 Million Offers, probably the best business book I have ever read by far. It tells you everything that goes on in a business, what to do, what not to do, what makes an offer good as opposed to not, and we're gonna talk all about that in this video. So grab a beverage of your choice, sit down, and let's start. Do keep in mind though that since I'm a video editor, this video is geared more towards service-based businesses. But with that said, the first thing that we're gonna talk about is what an offer is, because that is the lifeblood of any business. At its core, an offer is a value exchange. I give you this and you give me that. Dollars in, value in the other direction, because an offer determines everything else that goes on in business. How many new customers you can get, what price you can sell at, what payment method you're gonna use. The highest tier of them all is the Grand Slam offer. Or in other words in the book, an offer so good they feel stupid saying no to it. Now, whenever you try any business venture, you're gonna fail again and again and again and again and get a few lucky breaks. But the first is more important to understand. It's far better to understand why you have failed as opposed to be ignorant of why you have succeeded, which I wish I applied a lot more in the past. But if you fail, then try again, and if you fail again, then just keep going. And if you do that, eventually you will win. It could just take a bit of time. So what's the most common reason that we fail? We either can't get enough customers or we can't charge them at a price high enough to cover our expenses. It's why the idea of a Grand Slam offer is highlighted so often in that book, because it fixes both of these issues. If your offer is so good they feel stupid saying no to, then you'll never have a shortage of customers and it will be so unique and valuable that you can charge it at any price that you need. Because those offers don't exist everywhere else, so now you're not competing on price, you're competing on value. You're not being forced to commodify your service, something that exists in many places and special in none of them, unmatched by any others because no others can provide that value. At the core of it, the most important part is that they feel like they're getting a deal, aka they're getting more value than they're putting in money-wise. So since I'm a video editor, what would be a Grand Slam offer for me after thinking about it for a while would be something along the lines of make their first video for free, only get paid if I bring in results more than they had before, professionally treat their audio and apply the best editing standards that I know of, and give them good formulas that they could apply further on, even if with or without me. This is roughly also what he said in the book. I just adapted it to my field, and you can do the same for yours. But it's not just the offer too, it's also about the market, something that I had to learn painfully for myself. There is always a market that is desperate for your skills, you just have to find it. Don't be stubborn and serve the people that can pay your worth. If you don't, you'll hate the work and you'll regret that you ever accepted the gig. I'm speaking from personal experience here, do not do it. It's not worth it. So to avoid that pain, there's a simple checklist that we can go through when we're encountering a situation like that for any market that you're trying to get into. 1, they need to have a massive pain point. You can be surprised as a video editor if you're trying to sell your services to a dentist, an electrician, someone who just doesn't need it. 2, they need to have the money to pay for your work. Boy. It feels obvious, but you just kind of hold out hope that maybe it would work. But there's no point trying to offer someone a service that they just can't afford. I can't overstate how important this one is, even for people like us that are trying to make something out of a shitty situation. The last dollar is not worth it, or you'll have someone critiquing you frame by frame for the $20 that they gave you. Seriously. 3, easy to target. If you can't reach them, then you can't make your offer to them. So make sure they're gathered somewhere accessible. It's why social media is such a powerful tool for reach outs and advertising your work on them, because literally everyone on earth is there. 4, a growing market. There was a story in the book about a friend of his that was trying to sell his services. He was a brilliant entrepreneur, a great salesman, good at advertising, marketing, all of that. But he was trying to sell to newspapers. And there exactly was the problem. Newspapers. I mean, think about it. When was even the last time that you've seen a newspaper? For me, it's been years. He was trying to sell to a dying market. Dead if not entirely non-existent now. Which is why you're gonna have to be targeting a growing market, because if it's not growing, then it's dying. Now, if your offer isn't necessarily well received, it doesn't mean that you suck, it could just mean that your offer sucks. It's why when you're starting out doing anything new, you tend to work for free for a while until you learn up the skills that you need, which could make you wonder to that, alright then, when do I know when I can charge? The main sign that's given in the book is that if you start getting referrals on your free work, because that means that they have gone out and willingly told other people about your work that they received for free and then want to recommend you to them. But because I still needed an income at the time and I didn't have that luxury to wait around, there are a couple other things that I noticed are good signs to know that you can start to charge. One of them is when you start getting really enthusiastic feedback, and I don't mean something like, yeah, that's good enough, you can send it, or yeah, it looks good. I mean the really hyper, that's so good, or I love it. Another good one is when they're surprised that they're getting this for free, or when they're skeptical that you're really not gonna charge them for it. As for how much you should charge them, the wisdom in the book was that you should charge as high as you can without breaking into a smile or a laugh. And honestly, even in my own personal experience, I can full send that. My worst gigs were always with the cheapest clients, and the book corroborates that too as well. They're harder to please, more entitled, and any price is way too much for them. It's like trying to squeeze blood out of a stone. They haggle everything and it's not worth it at all. And these problems tend to reverse the higher in price that you go up to. And the funny thing is, it's better for them too, actually. Even if the work is the exact same, they'll appreciate it more, they'll treat it with more respect, they won't interrupt or make problems for you in your work telling you how to do your own job. And they'll be more likely to apply it, since if you paid $200 for something, you're gonna take a lot more care of it and pay a lot more attention to it than if you paid $20 for it. I'll probably make a part 2 of this sometime because there's a lot of very helpful and good stuff in that book, but I'll leave you with a story to illustrate that last part of how just a price tag can make so much of a drastic difference, making something objectively worse or better. There was this experiment where they took a juice and assigned 3 different prices to it: low, medium, and high, all in separate containers, and then they had the people try them out on 3 containers that were the same exact drink, mind you. And then when they had people try them out and polled them, the vast majority of them voted that the priciest drink of them all tasted the best, like it was made from better fruits and a better process and methodology to create it, despite all of them being the exact freaking same. So don't undercut yourself. Be the best juice you can be. If you like the video and you want to see the part 2 that I mentioned earlier, then I'd appreciate a comment telling me exactly that. And if you like the information that was in this video and maybe hopefully I provided you with some sort of value, then I'd appreciate a subscribe so you can see the next one. If you need an editor or a lot pack, then my links are in the description. And with that, don't forget to smile. It'll make you feel a lot better. Bye.